computer screen. I can't.
Yep.
It's Saturday evening, everyone. I'm Robin. I'm the president of Guild of Requiem and the commanding officer of Space Station Requiem. We have with us Mikey, who is our secretary for the Guild and our executive officer for Space Station Requiem. We have Heather. She is our Scholars Guild master and our chief sciences officer. Yeah, okay, I got it right. we're having fun with it, and that's all we can do is keep having fun. So we're kind of sticking with the science fiction. As you can see, we're going to talk about classic science fiction movies from the 1900s to 1959. Now, there's a little piece of history on why we're starting with the 1900s. Yes, movies actually started in the mid 1890s, but the first science fiction movie wasn't until 1903. So we're going to go over A Trip to the Moon, which came out in 1902. Metropolis, came out in 1927. Oops, give me a second here. I hit the wrong button. See, I do this all the time, Mikey, and I still have problems. Things to Come, 1936. The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951. War of the Worlds, 1953. Now, got some caveats on if you go to find War of the Worlds. Godzilla came out in 1954. Forbidden Planet in 1956. Invasion of the Body Snatchers in 1956. And The Incredible Shrinking Man in 1957. And The Fly in 1958. There's also another little tidbit about The Fly when we get to it. This is the original one, not that one with Jeff
Goldblum.
Jeff Hotbottom.
And just an FYI, I was not able to see the last few slides. I didn't get to the other ones. I only get the ones that I could see.
Okay. Should have been able to see them, but it could be that they didn't copy through. I've been at an event all day and had doctor's appointments and I've been sick all week. So Mikey helped put all this together. So, Trip to the Moon, 1902. It was widely regarded as the first science fiction film. It revolutionized cinema with groundbreaking special effects and a whimsical storytelling directed by George Millet. It's a silent film that was introduced audience to the imagination of space travel long before it was a reality. The iconic image of the rocket landing in the moon's eye remains one of the most enduring visuals of film history. Its innovative use of theatrical techniques and camera tricks laid the foundation for future science fiction narratives and visual effects. I watched it. I got through it. I didn't fall asleep. It was kind of hard to follow because the version that I found, it didn't. The old movies when they first came out, they would have a scene and then they would cut to a screen that had words. Oh, yeah. This is happening. Oh, that is happening. Oh, this person said this. Okay, the one that I found on Pluto, it was just the movie. It was just the music and the people doing their little thing. So you had to fill in the blanks yourself. What do they call it? Bad lip reading? I mean, you really got to just put yourself in there and say, oh, hey, look, professor, you're an idiot. You know, no, we can't do that. Well, all these wizards are we're professors, and you don't know what you're talking about. Well, we're going to go to the moon. No, we're not. And we ended up having way too much fun with it. I got the kids talked into watching it too, and we all sat there and we just kind of gave our own little narrative of what was happening. So in that regards, it is very fun. If you're looking to understand what actually would happen, you'd have to understand that you're in a theater and there's somebody in the front playing on a piano. And you have this choppy video happen up on the screen. And it was with a candle light behind it. They still had a light bulb to where it could project through without burning it. So that was pretty cool. Metropolis.
Yeah, I was going to watch that one, but didn't get around to it.
I've actually been having fun. I mean, I've had a lot of downtime the past several weeks. I actually made it through all 3 hours of Buck Rogers, the original 1939 Buck Rogers. I got all the way through it.
I only managed to watch
I'm
3
sitting there going,
movies.
people would have gone 6 months in a row to see a half an hour reel on Buck Rogers and paid a penny for it.
Yeah. Of the 3 movies, the only one that I watched that was on the list you've given is Metropolis. I watched it, The Terror from Beyond Space, and the 1920 Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes, that was very good. And then
it was actually very good.
The list that we came up with for the PowerPoint, we get to touch on those as having extra fun.
Yeah.
So Metropolis, 1927. It is directed by Fritz Lang. So I don't know if you noticed, but the cards were in German and it was translated to English.
Actually, no. I think for mine, the cards were actually in English. The
Yours
one I
were
watched.
in English, okay.
The only translation was on for the few things that were in German, like Hell's Memorial.
Yeah.
There was the English translation for that.
Mine was the German cards, and it gave me the English translation as the closed captioning. So it could be just a matter of we watched it on different streaming services.
Yeah, I watched mine on Tubi.
I don't remember what I watched it on.
Yeah.
Leave him alone, please. So Metropolis is a previous. A second here, I got ahead of myself. I was right by the stage all day today. So, Metropolis is a dystopian epic that explores class division and the dangers of unchecked technological advancement. It's set in a future city where the elite live in luxury while the workers are underground. I mean, it's real, they got the people all in time marching into the elevator that takes them underground, and then the elevator opens up and they come marching out, from it. So it was really could tell the difference between the classes. It wasn't barely able to tell distinguishing the classes. It was very obvious. So it had groundbreaking production, design, and special effects that influenced generations of science fiction films afterwards. The storm's themes of social inequality and the cost of human progress is very relevant yet today. And it introduced the symbol of the iconic robot Maria, who is the symbol of artificial intelligence and rebellion.
Yeah, when I watched it, I couldn't help but think about how, if this were made today, how well it would fit today.
Yeah, I mean,
not so much the 90s or the 80s. Today, I'm sitting there going, it made me think. I'm just sitting there going, dang.
Yeah.
That's just too real now.
Yeah, I mean, it fits in the 20s, it fits in the 40s, the 50s. You start seeing more class separation of classes in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, even in the 80s and 90s, but yeah, there is really,
Yeah, I don't think I would have made the connection as well in the 90s or the early aughts as now. Yeah. It's just the division now is much starker than it was then.
Yeah, the lines are, I mean, they say we're middle class with what we make on our income, but we're not. I mean, we're not. I mean, middle class should be people living comfortably and not having to worry about paying their bills, and do they have any,
and not one paycheck away from disaster, or one illness away from disaster. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it's still very relevant, still very, very relevant. The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951. Was it Keanu Reeves that did it in the 2000s or the 1990s?
I don't remember.
Okay, watch this one. Make sure you're watching 1951.
Mm-hmm.
It resonates so much more better with of Klaatu being an alien visitor to Earth. You know.
Yeah.
And it still is a metaphor why we needed to a disarmament of our nuclear warheads and international cooperation. You know, and what always struck me, and that, you know, not reading anything that's going on that I have on my notes, is that it was very minimalist in design. Very minimalist. I mean, I forgot to look up what the budget was, but I'm sure it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
For what they were spending for other movies in that era. Give me a second here.
I will say, of the movies I watched, I was surprised at how well I actually enjoyed watching them.
Sorry, I had to get past
That's okay.
Space out.
I did not. I'd say the one that I probably enjoyed the least, but I still had fun watching it, was the It from the Terror from Beyond Space. It was the 1954. It was 1954. So it was typical 50s horror sci-fi.
Oh yeah, you got the Scream Queen in it. I totally forgot about the Scream Queens in the 50s.
Actually, in this one, they didn't have a particular Scream Queen. They didn't.
There's two of them that are it.
This is It, the Terror from Beyond Space, 1956. No, 1958. Sorry, 1958. I'm reading my handwriting wrong. 1958. There weren't any Scream Queens. There were two women in the movie, but neither of them were the damsel in distress. It was really interesting. It was it's
order that has the least time on it.
There were astronauts who went to Mars. And then they had to send another group of astronauts to pick them up.
Yeah.
They went to pick them up to find only one alive.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, come to find out, the monster that killed the other ones ended up on the ship with them on the way back home.
I thought there was a couple scenes where the ladies started screaming. I know the guys were screaming in that one.
Not too much. Not like you would expect, you know, the horror sci-fi movies typical of the day.
Yeah.
They weren't your typical damsels in distress. One, I think they were both basically nurses. For all intents and purposes. That's what it seemed like. And they were actually fairly...
They weren't young.
Considering.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to what was typical for the day.
What was typical, the age of the actresses, they were actually on the older edge of it.
Yeah.
So, War of the Worlds, 1953, H.G. Wells. My mom told me about it when this movie aired.
What do they want?
Or actually, is when it came on the radio.
I was going to say the radio version.
The radio.
It was the radio version that had everybody.
Everybody was panicking that an actual invasion was taking place. And we're like, no. So then I went and found the original War of the Worlds recording. And I'm going, you know, this is back in the 30s, 40s. You know, I could see why that would be disconcerting, is, you know, that you only turn the radio on for news and for certain shows at a different at a specific time. So you're turning on, hoping to hear, was it Tales from the Dark Side, or what, you know, whatever the westerns were that are happening at that time. And you know, here it sounds like this announcer is and this is happening, and you know, panic and scientists. I would flip out if I, you know, if I woke up and, you know, was expecting to hear, you know, I wouldn't know that this was you know, a reading of a book or anything.
Right. And I actually got to listen to on a tape because my mother got me hooked on old radio shows. And listening to it on a radio, on a cassette, obviously. Yeah, I agree. I can totally see how this would have panicked so many people.
You know, and there was only 1 or 2 radio stations back then. It's not like here now when you can spin the dial and you're going to land on something.
Exactly.
There was only 1 or 2 stations. And they, you know, and you were lucky if they actually, if the nature was in your favor, you got to actually hear it nice and clear.
Yeah.
You know, if you're having some sort of electromagnetic static interference, it's going to be cutting in and out, and you're going to be thinking, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So I mean, and the fact that they were able to capture that energy and translate it to a movie in 1953. My mom told me that it felt like that.
Yeah.
When they were in there watching it, it felt like it was, this is, you know, I'm watching what's happening.
Exactly.
You know, but it's, you know, again, it brought on the threat of nuclear war. What's the first thing man tried to do when they're faced with an alien? Let's lob a nuclear warhead at it.
Yep.
You know, and it's, you know, it's, once again, it, you know, just says how fragile we are and the whole thing is that, you know, no matter how powerful we think we are or we feel we are, we're actually pretty just this little microcosmic speck of everything that could possibly happen. I could not find this one. I know it's out there. I know I've watched Godzilla before. I've seen almost every single Godzilla. You know, even though when it was subtitles, it was, you know, or it was badly, what do you call it when they do the voiceover?
Voiceover.
Yeah.
I know there's a technical term for it, but I can't think of it at the moment. So Godzilla, again, we're in that post-war era of everything. We're in Japan, and they're trying to understand all the nuclear devastation from the 2 bombs that were dropped on them. And they just wanted to have a way, Ishiro Honda wanted to have a way to convey how much trauma as a nation they were going through. And basically said, hey, nature's going to come and make it right for us. Oh, are you trying to find it on the channel?
Yeah, because on my search, it says it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, on IMDb, it says HBO Max. I think Cinemax, if you do it through the Prime channels. And it says Prime Video even has it.
Godzilla 1954. I love being able to talk into my remote. Talk about technology, right?
No kidding, man.
Okay, that one says 2004.
Yeah.
But it does say that Raymond Burr is in it.
Yeah.
Why does it say 2004? Because it's black and white.
Maybe they restored it in 2004?
Could be. But yeah, it looks like it is on HBO Max.
Okay. But, I mean, and just the fact that this one movie, there's how many Godzilla movies are there now?
Oh my gosh.
All the way through the 50s, the 60s,
at least
the 70s,
a dozen.
The 80s. They remade them in the 90s and the 2000s. And, you know, they just made another one, 4 years ago? Godzilla and King Kong?
Yep.
You know?
Say at least a dozen.
That's a formula that worked.
Mm.
You know, they oh, and then you got all the spin-offs. You got Pacific Rim, you've got
41.
41.
41.
That's not including all the ripoffs.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Godzilla Raids Again, Godzilla King of the Monsters. It goes through like Mothra and Godzilla. Well, this one says destroy all monsters and all monsters attack, which are not Godzilla movies specifically, but I guess he's in it. So cut a couple out there. But apparently the year I was born, Godzilla versus Hedorah was made. So yeah, 38, 39 movies, including the newer ones, Godzilla versus Kong.
Yep. So I mean,
that's a lot.
I mean, it's a lot.
See, I don't care for any of the Godzilla movies, but I did like Pacific Rim. I think because it's from a different perspective.
It could be. I mean, and it wasn't so much that they weren't nuclear. Nature didn't create them. They were aliens coming through a different universe.
Yeah.
But you know what?
So, Forbidden Planet.
Okay, now I see that title, Forbidden Planet. Now all I can think of is the song from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And that was exactly what I was going to mention. This is the first time I ever heard about this movie was listening to that song. Have I seen it yet?
No. Nope.
But I had to make sure when I was finding the picture that it definitely said Anne Francis in there, because that's what they talk about. Yep.
So this one starts
Leslie Nielsen?
Huh?
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, yes, a very young Leslie Nielsen was in it.
Wow. Yep. Now I may have to hunt it down and watch it.
But yeah, this is the one we start getting into the psychology of science fiction. So it explores our subconscious mind on how it influences our reality. It's the introduction of Robbie the robot. I mean, my dad had a Robbie the robot, and I still played with it when I was a kid.
Wow.
You know, Robbie the robot's like iconic, in my opinion. But you know, it really is. It challenges you to consider the limits of how much human knowledge we have, and it brings up again the dangers of unchecked power, the dangers of progressing faster than society is ready for. So my next one, I really enjoy. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The original one. And it starts getting the themes of conformity and identity. You know, they want people to act the same and be emotionless and, you know, just be the same, be a clone of each other. Do you guys really have to?
Yes, they have.
Tasmanian devil behind me. But this was another minimalist style movie, you know, very low budget when it comes to the videography, you know, and it did get into the psychological tension that starts, you know, basically it's building on that bandwagon of where the science fiction and horror is
coming together.
Well, it kind of comes together, but it also gives them two separate paths. So all these movies coming up through the 50s, they're all labeled science fiction. Yeah. They're not horror movies. They're horror movies by our definition now. It's a psychological thriller. That's a horror movie. Yeah. You know, it's dealing with, you know, getting into your, you know, basically mind, you know, it's a horror movie, you know, but it also is in science fiction. So for me, this kind of brings it all together and saying, hey, if we keep, you know, this is the type of control, this is the tension that, you know, Are we wanting to deal with societal control? Are we getting rid of our personal freedoms?
Mm.
You know, and it basically says, you know, I think this was started communism, wasn't it? Cold War. Yeah.
This was all during the Cold War.
Cold
Yeah,
War.
50s. This is during the Cold War, communist fears, Red Scare.
Yeah. So
all happened during this time.
It was basically bringing in those contexts of controlling society. We're giving up our personal freedoms.
Which
if we follow
very
this
much
way.
today.
So yes, you are right, Mikey. It cut us off.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that wasn't nice of it.
No.
Okay. Come back here.
But I don't know if y'all saw, I did put into the chat that Forbidden Planet isn't currently showing up like free anywhere. Even Amazon Prime is about $4.
Yeah.
I want to get it on DVD so that I have it in my collection of, you know, old movies that I would really like to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, good, Sawyer.
Yeah, I watched the 1920 Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I was going to watch the one from 1931 also, so I could do like a compare and contrast. But I didn't get around to it. I really enjoyed John Barrymore in that. I will say his Hyde
Dr. Jekyll
wasn't as scary or disturbing as later Jekyll and Hyde movies where I've seen the pictures of what Hyde looks like. But he was creepy. He was creepy in that kind of like that creeper dude who follows you around and you're sitting there going, why are you following? What is your problem? That was my. And every once in a while he'd have this when he was wanting to when he would get around ladies, he'd do this thing with his mouth.
Yeah.
That looked weirdly cute. It was creepy cute. It's like,
yeah.
Let's go see how.
Do it.
It's so weird.
Do that face again, because I actually missed it because your screen got really small.
Like this. That's what he would do. And John Barrymore is such a handsome dude that even with the makeup to make him look ugly, that one little bit was actually kind of cute, but in a creepy way.
So it looks like, it looks like you can watch it on YouTube. So I think I'll watch it on YouTube.
I actually rented it on Prime.
Oh, cool.
For like $2.
See, that works.
$1.99.
But yeah, I know more of John Barrymore because of Drew, because she's one of my favorite actresses. So I've been trying to watch
that's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it, was because I knew that was her grandfather.
Yep.
And you can see the resemblance, especially the eyes.
Yes.
They look the same in the eyes.
Because I don't watch her talk show a lot because I don't have regular TV. But there was an episode where she actually showed a picture of John and then her, and I'm just like, holy crap, you can tell that they are related.
Yep.
Wow.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It was very interesting.
That's cool.
And I'm not one, if you had ever asked me before if I would ever watch an old black and white movie and enjoy it, I would have told you, yeah, no way.
Really, honestly, you really? Because I grew up watching black and white movies, and I did not like it when they did. Of course, the colorization is horrible with black and white movies. But I was so used to watching movies black and white that when I went to see E.T., now mind you, I mean, this was in the early 80s. I did not like the fact that it was colored.
Well, and generally old movies in general, except for a bare few, that weren't colorized, but were already done in color. Otherwise, if you ask me if I watch anything that was
black and white,
made movie or TV before 55.
Well, before colorization, yeah.
Before 55. Now, there were some black and white TV shows I watched. I watched I Love Lucy.
Yes.
I watched
Ozzie and Harriet.
I Think I Dream of Jeannie started out in black and white.
It did.
Yep.
You know, some of those old ones I watched because I had cable growing up.
Yeah.
So I did watch some old TV shows in black and white. But movies, old black and white movies, as far as I knew, in my brain, the only ones I knew about were what I called the cheesy 50s sci-fi, sci-fi horror, and like the ones my grandparents would watch that were mostly drama, you know, the typical drama or westerns that were fairly popular at the time. I'm just all like, no.
See, my favorite, this is how I fell in love with Jimmy Stewart, because I would watch all of his movies and they were black and white at that time. So it's like It's a Wonderful Life and Harvey.
I never watched it.
Oh, the travesty.
I've never watched It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh my gosh. But see, then you've got me, who doesn't usually watch a lot of, sci-fi movies and stuff, so it's a balance. I'll watch Wonderful Life.
I mean, I managed once to watch, I don't think I watched all of it. And there was a colorized version of Miracle on
34th Street.
On 34th Street.
I actually like both versions of that movie. I will only watch the black and white in black and white.
And of course, I think I watched part, if not all, of the colorized version of Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow.
But beyond that, it was, if I watched anything old movies, it was, actually, when was My Fair Lady and,
I think that was in the
Sound of Music.
60s.
60s?
Hold on.
I think that's
when was My Fair Lady made? 1964 for My Fair Lady.
Okay. So the other one was about the same.
1965 for Sound of Music.
I had 1956.
So mid-60s. It was probably about
65,
regular wise, movie-wise, starting with musicals. Before that, movies.
I love musicals.
TV shows, yes. Movies, no.
I love musicals so much.
And part of that was because, like I said, I had the stereotypical view of what was black and white movies.
Right.
Cheesy 50s sci-fi horror, and like things that my grandmother watched, It's a Wonderful Life, or dramas that were similar, in the similar vein, or westerns.
Right.
And I'm like, none of those are interesting to me. When I was a kid, it was all about the teen angst movies, the Brat Pack, 16 Candles, and
there you go,
and Breakfast Club.
Exactly.
And then later it was action movies with my dad.
Wow.
So I watch action movies a lot with my dad. And then as I got older, it was more, action, maybe a couple of comedies here and there, musicals. Yeah, mostly musicals and action movies.
Cool.
And fantasy. Once I found fantasy in books, I was looking for any possibility of a fantasy movie, no matter how cheesy.
There you go.
Because those were few and far between.
I think the first real fantasy movie that I can say I watched was probably Willow.
Yep.
I think. Gosh, that was so long ago.
Yeah, I don't think there was much. There wasn't much before that. And there's Dragonheart with Dennis Quaid.
Oh my gosh, yes, I haven't seen that one in ages.
But you get, maybe if you were lucky, one a year or one every couple of years until Lord of the Rings. And now you're starting to, well, right now the Marvel movies are all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's still hard to get a fantasy movie made because it almost requires more CGI and stuff than any superhero movie.
Exactly.
I'm still waiting. It's still in a holding pattern, and I don't know if they'll ever agree to actually get it made. Dragon Riders of Pern. I need a Dragon Riders of Pern movie.
I don't think we're ever going to see it.
Unfortunately, which is really sad because we do have the technology to make those dragons. And those dragons were actually smooth skinned, not scaled like we think of dragons.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they can do scaled dragons, they can do they can do oversized fire lizards. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It's just, and technically, Dragon Riders of Pern is not fantasy. It's actually sci-fi. You wouldn't know it when you read the first 3 books that she wrote.
Yep.
Because it's dragons and a feudal society. So you automatically assume it's fantasy. Until you get to the point where you read the prequel books, where it's all about earthbound travelers from Earth going to set up a new colony on the planet that they called Pern. Only to find out that Pern has a once every 200 years issue that kills everything organic off. Everything that grows.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I didn't realize that there were 24 books and 2 short stories in that. Wow.
And I have them all in hardcover.
Oh, nice.
Even the ones written by her son and the single one written by her daughter. Plus, I have the Atlas of Pern, the People of Pern.
See, I am the same way with the Cassandra Clare books. I have every book that deals with the Shadowfire Hunters. Like I'm like that with Cassandra Clare. They're all hardcover. I've got the oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. It's their book that shows all their symbols.
This isn't a part of the Pern books, but it was done by Anne McCaffrey. It's basically a coffee table book about dragons. It's Anne McCaffrey and others, so not all of the dragons in here are hers. There's dragons from other stories. But that you can see it's traveled with me a whole lot, and it's falling apart. I need to repair it.
We need to hook you up with the person who can fix books.
I know a little bit about book repair because I did when I worked on my master's the first time at UNT. Now, granted, it was supposed to be a straight history master's because that's really all they offered, but one of my electives was a book repair class.
Oh, nice.
So I still have some of my, still have my bone folder and my book on, my textbook on book repair.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the typical, like, St. George and the dragon.
Oh, let me see that one. Oh, wow, that is beautiful.
So
the dragon is red, right, in that one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. Let's find another picture. This is true. That's St. George also. You can even see his shield.
Oh, wow.
It's typical St. George and the dragon. Can you find the dragon?
Oh my gosh.
That one blends in.
Yeah, no.
He's right there.
Oh yes.
There's his head right there. There's a man hiding in the roots down there.
That is so funny. Wow.
They did those.
But yeah, this is. Yeah, most of them were knights fighting dragons, most of the pictures, which, that was the standard.
Exactly.
For the longest time. when it came to dragons, if the dragons were the villains, it was always a knight trying to kill him.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, it all this book is talking about the different ways that I think it talks about the different ways that dragons were portrayed.
Cool.
Yeah, I have. See, it's the People of Pern, the Atlas of Pern. See, I have another. I'm trying to look. Dragon Lover's Guide to Pern, and then Todd McCaffrey wrote a book about his mother called Dragon Holder.
Oh, wow.
So I have that one. And then one by McCaffrey herself called Dragon Writer, probably talking about writing her books. I haven't read it yet, but I bought it anyway. So.
Hey, you have it. That's what matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there were so many books in that series.
Yep.
That's cool. I have so many books that I still need to read before I buy more. I have over 100 books on my TBR. And how many have I read this year? 2.
I was real bad about collecting free ebooks. When I got my first e-reader, it came with free 200 classic books.
Nice.
I've not read any of them yet. And then if you count all the books that I bought and gotten free, I think I have probably pushing 2,000 ebooks, and I've probably read maybe a third of them. The ones that I actually bought and read, because those are,
right.
But I have over 1,000 ebooks that I haven't touched yet, because I got onto one of those email deals where they send you the notifications for free ebooks.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Every
I
day.
do that every day. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have more free ebooks sitting. And then I pulled them all into Caliber. So I could the free ones I could make sure that I could, use on any tablet or e-reader.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have a lot of and a lot that I have not read.
I definitely need to buckle down and really read some, because I've been holding off on reading the last 3 books in the hold on. My brain is not working today. Where is my book? Oh, yeah. The last 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series, because I reread the books as I go. So I am now rereading book 2 for probably the 20th time.
I don't generally reread books, because once I've read it, when I try to go back and reread it, even 5-6 years later, I get through maybe the first 5 pages, and then I remember enough of the whole of the story that it's like, why read it? No, I'm done.
Gotcha.
And the only book that I have read more than once, I wouldn't say the only book. There have been a couple that more recently, because my memory is not as good as it used to be. But the only book, let's see, have I read it twice, or have I already gone to 3 times? Only because it's so extensive and there's so much to, even though I've watched the movies too, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot in those books.
I've found something new every time I've dug into it. Exactly. Now it takes me a long time, because I can only read a couple hours a day, and that's 800-900 pages.
Yeah.
For the whole thing. But it's definitely one of those that's worth reading more than once.
And that's why I reread these books, because there are things that happen down the line that you actually get glimpses of something in each of these books. And I'm like, oh, that's what they were talking about back then.
Yep.
Yeah, I have.
The epic ones you almost have to reread, especially if there's multiple books. I'm looking at rereading The Wheel of Time, especially after they had the series going for a little bit. I'm still mad that they canceled it. They even had good ratings and people watching.
And
so I was really
mad frustrated with it.
But I pulled up. I bought the first book as an ebook to reread. But then I got busy with school and everything and didn't get to. So once I'm done with school and I have a regular job and a regular schedule, then I might be able to dig into reading for fun again.
Right?
No, because then I'm gonna say, hey, where's the classes at?
Exactly, right? You're like, man, I need to take some more classes.
All right, ladies, we're gonna go ahead and end the meeting up. I just want to remind everybody that our next meeting is November 15th at 8 p.m. For Space Station Requiem, and we're going to be discussing science fiction movies 1960s to 2000. And I think what we're going to do is we're each going to pick out our own top 10 from in that time frame on what we feel were the most influential. So, and then we'll
I know what 5 of them will be.
No, that cannot be in the series.
You know which ones I'm talking about, right? Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
You can pick the one of the shows and why is it influential to science fiction movies.
Okay.
We won't discuss the motionless picture at all. That didn't happen. We're just going to pretend that those leotards just, they disappeared into the
But to be fair, as bad as that first one it was compared to the ones going forward, the other ones wouldn't have happened without the first one in the first place. So
we'll be back at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on November 15th, and let's hear what your top 10 science fiction movies are from 1960 to 2000. Well, let me stop. It won't let me stop. I'll have to cut it out.